The innovation development I will be covering will be digital tech books. Current research and development of tech books is supportive of the topic and shows the innovation process has begun. The significance of digital media in the K-12 area is that it gives the students a chance to interact with technology, engage them on familiar ground, and make learning relevant for them in the 21st century. Digital tech books have their foundations in digital textbooks. The difference in the two is that tech books are interactive multimedia forms of digital textbooks. They are the next generation for educational use. Increasing technology is creating opportunities to leave print material behind. The implementation of one-to-one programs and handheld devices in the classroom creates an opportunity to have online textbooks and course materials. A digital textbook or tech book can be created and customized by class and teacher preference. The need for this is demonstrated by the following. Schools and students are increasingly using technology more and more. Print material is often viewed by students as unpopular and old. Digital materials give students greater opportunity to interact with the materials and make a connection to the real world. The cost of print materials continues to soar while school budgets are decreasing. Digital media is becoming cheaper and smaller, which makes it easier for schools to purchase. Publishers have been responding to the increased demand for online resources by developing interactive digital tech books. McGraw-Hill, Pearson Global, Wiley Plus, and Discovery Education are names of a few pursuing this innovation. Discovery Education is a leading tech book resource available for science. I will be using it in the classroom this school year. Production of tech books has been ongoing for a decade. The transition from a digital text to an interactive one has been facilitated by the Internet. The purchase of tech books occurs with contracts between the provider and the school district. Once the contract is in place, teachers are given access to the online tech book with usernames and the ability to create logins for each student. The material is stored on the provider's server and accessible from any computer or mobile device with the Internet. According to Discovery Education, their curriculum team is built around a unique combination of years of experience and a passion to improve teaching and learning through the compelling use of digital media in the classroom. They have implemented successful programs throughout their careers. They merge an inspirational drive towards meeting the needs of today's students with practical, real-world best practices that lead to success in all educational environments. Research has indicated a strong desire for students to link the real world to the classroom through technology. Students want to construct knowledge using interactive methods and Web 2.0 tools. Problems include availability of the Internet and computers to access digital tech books. The target audience is K-12 educators and students. Problems in development consisted of software compatibility and the computing requirements for the program to play multimedia materials. Also, each school would need the technology to access the resources online. An initiative to adopt digital text across the U.S. is presented by the FCC in the provided hyperlink. Pearson Global implemented My Math Lab in 2005 at Lone Star College and saw an increase of 20% in the passing rate of college algebra students. Over the next 3 years, they continued to see increases in student achievement. The findings from research studies done by these institutions shows an increase in student achievement and instructor efficacy. At Hines Community College, an anatomy course used Connect by McGraw-Hill and saw an increase in the number of students who pass with a grade C or higher by 75%. Wiley Plus partnered with the University of Tennessee for a study in the 2009-2010 academic year. Pre- and post-test scores were used to determine the effectiveness of the tech book. Post-test scores showed a 7% improvement using Wiley Plus over students not using the program. E-books have been rising in popularity over the years as shown in this timeline. They do have an influence on digital text and digital tech books. Digital textbooks came into the spotlight with the rise of the e-reader. Online multimedia content has been shown to have a positive effect on student learning. Over the last 2 years, digital textbooks have transitioned to tech books by incorporating multimedia content. This research was done by Dr. Rob Reynolds, the Director of Product Design and Research for Explana. Textbook sales are worth $7 billion in the U.S. every year. The FCC is calling for all schools to adopt a version of digital text within the next 5 years. The adoption so far of digital text is not widespread, but this evidence shows that the market is growing. Currently, Discovery Textbook has been implemented for 287,000 students over the last year. It has only been available for 1 year, and the U.S. has 77 million students. That is less than 1% currently using this textbook. Digital textbooks only represent 3% of the higher education market today. Research shows sales and trending patterns that support a conservative growth rate of digital textbooks at 80 to 100% over the next 4 to 5 years. This research confirms the chairman of the FCC in calling for adoption within the next 5 years. We are already trailing Korea, who has already started to implement a total transition with an expected completion year of 2015. The key innovators in my organization are members of our technology team. This team meets monthly to develop and implement new technology to benefit the teachers and students. The members of the team are teachers in the district, led by our assistant superintendent, and all have an advanced knowledge of technology. The Discovery Education textbook being adopted is strictly for the subject of science. All 3 teachers at the junior high that will be implementing the textbook are members of the technology team. Other key innovators are teachers with technology experience and a high social prominence in their district. Members of the administration that support technology will also be early innovative leaders. Another key innovator is Korea. As previously mentioned, they have already set in place requirements for adoption of this innovation by the year 2015. Other teachers that are more familiar with technology will be the early adopters of textbooks. Various textbooks are being offered by publishing companies for other subject areas. As the textbook advances in the innovation process, more teachers will want to use it. Math would be the early adopters in my organization. The teachers in the math department already use a math lab program, and it would be an easy transition to a math textbook like the one offered by Pearson Global. Strategies for early adopters to accept the innovation would be to show them the advantage of the textbook after 1 year of use in the classroom. When test scores and student interaction improve, the advantages will appeal to the early adopters. The teachers that are less familiar with technology will be late in adopting textbooks. These users will need to be shown not only the advantage, but also the compatibility and the complexity of the textbook. They will want to see it in action, have professional development, and meetings to discuss the innovation. It will take some convincing to gain their interest in adopting a new program. The possible laggards in my organization will be those teachers that rely heavily on the printed text. Many teachers that show heavy usage of the printed textbook will have concerns for their students having access and will not want to use digital media exclusively. The solution for this would be for them to use the innovation on a trial basis while maintaining access to their printed materials. Digital textbooks are being offered by various publishers via the internet on a subscription basis with a cost per student. My school district was able to purchase 5 years of Discovery Science textbook and 90 netbooks using funds we previously used to buy print materials. The subscription service was $18 per student versus the $100 per student we typically set aside for print materials. This savings allowed us to purchase the netbooks for expanded internet usage in the classroom. Print materials, which are typically 10 years or older, can still be made available for student use at home or as supplemental material. Our print material is only 5 years old, and we hope, with expanded internet available to students at home, to be able to phase them out over the next 5 years. The internet has surpassed critical mass and has been widely adopted for use in the U.S. Similar results are expected with digital interactive text over the next 5 to 10 years. This can be accomplished by using a hybrid combination of decentralized and centralized diffusion systems. The FCC is calling for change and is starting the process of a top-down method of adoption according to decentralized means. Experts in the field of technology and education are directing the development of this innovation and conducting research to support it. However, at the same time, a centralized form of adoption is happening at the local levels by innovators. Schools are searching for solutions to decreasing budgets and are looking for a cheaper means to supply learning materials to students. This centralized method has been undertaken, as previously mentioned, by my district taking the initiative to use curriculum funds for this innovation. Other school districts are doing the same across the country. This hybrid method solves immediate needs for centralized users while allowing the decentralized method to enhance adoption to critical mass. With a combination of the two methods, leaders and local users will have collaborated to bring about the best resource for innovation. The FCC chairman states, digital textbooks are one of the cornerstones of digital learning. When we talk about transitioning to digital textbooks, we're not just talking about giving students e-readers, so they no longer have to carry around backpacks filled with 50 pounds of often out-of-date textbooks. We're talking about students having interactive learning devices that can offer lessons personalized to their learning style and level, and enable them real-time feedback to parents, teachers, or tutors. Imagine a student who has trouble doing his geometry homework. The digital textbook automatically inserts a supplemental lesson. Imagine a teacher who has instant access to the results of a pop quiz. She can immediately see that 4 of her students didn't understand the concept of photosynthesis and is able to offer an extra lesson. The FCC chairman is being a change agent, acting as an expert. I am the change agent for my organization and act as the advocate. I have spoken up for this initiative, found support, and implemented adoption to facilitate student achievement. In order to reach critical mass, which will require 20% of all schools to use digital textbooks in the U.S., we can employ 4 methods. The methods are target highly respected people for initial adoption, demonstrate the inevitability of the adoption, introduce it to innovators, and provide incentives for early adoption. The method that works best for my organization is to introduce it to innovators. This actually occurred during the adoption phase for my district, and the innovators convinced the administration to use the curriculum funds for the textbook. It was a 2-year process to gain the approval to purchase materials from Discovery, one that the innovators would sure would be a success. Many classrooms simply teach the material, read the textbook, test the students, and move on to the next unit. Educators are increasingly in demand to meet the needs of the 21st century learner and must find a way to accomplish this with limited means. This teacher, this champion, must have the means to actively engage a diverse group of learners using relevant technology to promote and improve learning achievement. The need for an innovation that assists this champion is clear. Society is ever increasing the use of technology, and students are being enabled to learn anywhere, anytime. As a champion for my students, offering them a digital interactive textbook will enable them to explore learning in new ways, whenever and wherever they need it. Every teacher is a champion in the eyes of a student. As leaders, teachers, and publishers come together to develop this innovation, the demand to adopt it will increase. The benefits and strength demonstrated so far are motivating and provide a positive outlook for future textbook usage. Designing is basically the practice of combining stuff, ideally in ways that haven't been seen before. So the more stuff you know about everything, the greater the chance you'll find a relevant and distinctive, and therefore effective and original combination. Textbooks offer teachers an effective combination to continue being the champions children deserve.